What's up, guys? The Apex is back, and so are we for this weekend's UFC fights. We've got Renato Moicano versus Chris Duncan. We have Raul Rosas Jr. versus Tabitha Ricci. And we also have a guy that's name is impossible to pronounce versus a guy who shouldn't even be in the UFC. This is all a main card, and I am here to break down the entire prelims all the way up to the main card, the entire card. Every single fight, give you my predictions based on what I think is going to happen. And let me tell you, this card is stacked. As you can tell by the amazing lineup we have of fighters. Let's start right after this message from me, my sponsor, me, just me. So if you guys come to Tapology.com and join my group at Tapology.com/groups/2048, all you have to do is what we're about to do. Make fight picks and then press save in this location here. If you win first place, like our man Pac-Man77 has here multiple times, like Big Stan, like Nick Alexander, like myself, I will pay you out $100 through CashApp. Make sure you have a CashApp. If you don't, you're not eligible. All you have to do is drop your CashApp information down in the UFC pay-per-view cash winner. That is for every numbered event. That's not for every fight night or whatever. Maybe one day when I have enough, monetization off this, then I will be able to pay out every single event. But until then, we're going to be doing it every single numbered event. I have, for you guys, a list of picks, let me tell you. We're going to start off with Kai Kamaka versus Dakota Hope. Kai Kamaka, former UFC fighter. We're going to go ahead and drop in a Zen for this one because I have a feeling this is going to be a banger of a card. So need to get woken up for it rather than, whatever. But we got the cool mint or cool watermelon 11s. Those are nice. Anyways, let's move back into this fight prediction. We've got Kai Kamaka, a guy who has beaten the likes of Michelle Lima, Siddiq Mudev, and Joshua Weems. I think another former UFC fighter or close. Lost to Brandon Laughlin and Diego Brandao, so he tends to lose to semi-talented fighters. And, just looking at his record, I'm just going to go with Dakota Hope and say that he's a semi-talented fighter. Watch him lose to Kai Kamaka on his second UFC run. I'm going to pick unanimous decision from Dakota Hope. I don't really have much hope in this pick, if you will. But I'm not going to pick a guy in Kai Kamaka, but just, Kai Kamaka's about. We've got Dione Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. Well, this is our first coin flip of the day. And let me tell you how accurate the coin has been lately, man. I mean, just going back off of fight picks recently, like this thing, other than the Macy Barber fight, has gotten every single women's fight right over the last month. Like, look, Casey O'Neill, Thainara. Let me go back to another event. Let me pull up a couple events here. The women's fights were early on this card. But you see, Chanel Dyer, same person, got it right. Jillian Robertson, we got it right. Mosquita got it right. Rodriguez got it right. So over the last three events, it has only missed one women's fight so far. Over the past month, it has missed one women's event. If you don't trust in the coin, you're not believing correctly. So here we go. We'll go into Diane Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. It's going to be picking the favorite in Melissa Gatto. It's a close one. She's coming off of losses to both Miranda Maverick and Karine Silva, and the losses that Melissa Gatto is coming off of are Ariane Lipski Silva and Tracy Cortez. If I could give you any insight into this, I would, but the coin knows more than me, so I'm going to go ahead and pick. What does she finish? Does she finish? We've got an arm triangle and an arm bar. Do you get submitted? No. Decision. All right. Moving on to Azamat Bakoyev, our channel's GOAT, who the loss is aging well to Yusri Bulgarui. I think Azamat is still our GOAT. He just came against a guy who had a 6-inch height advantage, who shouldn't be fighting at middleweight. This dude's a light heavyweight. He's a giant, 6'6" at middleweight. Just isn't fair. Bakoyev had to deal with that. He did. But I have Azamat Bakoyev killing Tresean Gore, because this is a step down from Yusri Belgarui. And he did give Belgarui a couple shots. He landed pretty heavily on him. He was able to land on Belgarui. He was able to do some things that were positive in the matchup. So I just don't see that for somebody like Tresean Gore. I don't see him doing very well in this matchup. It's a guy he's not going to be able to take down very well. He's not going to guillotine Bakoyev. If he guillotines Bakoyev, I'm jumping off a cliff. Anyways, let's move on to the next women's MMA event. We have Haley Cohen versus Alice Pereira. I know what you're thinking. It's Alex's sister. It's not. Her name's Alini. She lost to Montserrat Rendon. Let's get right into this before we actually even think. Looks like we're going with Haley Cohen. I just don't know. 1-6, 0-0, 2-0, 12-8. Oh, it's tails. I'm stupid. It doesn't really matter. There's no confidence in either of these. I'm not glad that the coin picked this. I'm horrified of this fight. I just hope it looks as good as they semi-do on here. Tapology has them looking decent. Haley Cohen's not hideous on here. I would like to smash here in this picture. But if that's what it's coming down to, is that I would rather smash than watch them fight, then, what we got going on here. Alrighty then. Let's get right into Lando Venata coming back to the UFC after almost 3 years retired versus Darius Flowers, a guy who has not won a fight in the UFC. Now he's fought Ivan Elder, Michael Johnson, and Jake Matthews. I trained with Jake Matthews, by the way. We lost to Bobby Green, Daniel Zellhuber, and Charles Jourdain on the way out. Beat Mike Grundy, and Yancy Medeiros. My God, the wins for Lando Venata are not what they used to be. I'm going to tentatively pick Lando Venata by decision. I have no explanation. This card is a lot of that. He's beaten better fighters in the past, is my explanation. But he literally last fought 3 years ago. You think I have confidence in this? I don't. Nobody should. Alessandro Costa versus Stuart Nickel. Never picking Stuart Nickel in my life. Not again, at least, if I have. Round 1 KO. Costa's going to come in there and beat the shit out of this little victim. Yeah. That's the breakdown you're getting. Thomas Peterson versus Guilherme Pat. We got a blob off, and it's official. We are flipping coins for blob offs. We got the big heads in 2026. I can't tell you who's going to win this fight, so that's why we went blob off coin wise. I guess we're picking Thomas Peterson off the coin, which means we'd be going decision. Let's see if we can defend this in any way. So we lost to Vitor Petrino. So did Steve Asplund. Lost to Shamil Gaziev, who hasn't been eaten by the blob. And we lost to Jamal Pogues. Oh, that's a tough loss. That's a tough loss to have. Alright, we beat Muhammad Usman and Dontel Mays. Guilherme Patch, coming off of a win 3 months ago against Alan Fry Jr. Not sure who that is. I'm going to be completely honest. I do not remember ever hearing Alan Fry Jr.'s name in the UFC. We beat Mauricio the gay boy here at 4-4 in the LFA. 0-0, 3-1. You know what? I'm not too upset with the coins pick here, but I have no confidence in Thomas Peterson. I'm gonna pick him though, because of the coin. Next, we move to Robert Ruchola versus Jose Delano. Delano going to a decision in Dana White's Contender Series. Looks like he's fought some fairly good fighters in the LFA. And then we got some KSW fights from Robert Ruchola. We lost to William Gomes. Not the worst fighter to lose to. Fighting out of Poland versus a Brazilian. 5'8" with 72-inch reach. 5'8", 70 inches of reach. Got two solid fighters here. Stomach's going crazy here. I think this is a very close fight potentially. I know that Robert Ruchola has more losses, but I mean it's only one more loss. Or no, I know that Delano has one more loss, but I feel like Ruchola's losing to. I mean, they're both losing to good fighters. I'm gonna pick Ruchola to get the finish here. I think it's a bit of a stretch, and I probably should just go with the heavy favorite of Jose Delano. But we went to decision with William Gomes. I think that's a pretty good look. He went to decision with Manuel Esposito. Not a good look. We'll see though. This very well could blow up in my face as an easy pick I should have gotten right. We move to Tommy McMillan versus Manolo Zacchini. We've got Tommy McMillan winning, I believe. I'm gonna pick Tommy McMillan. This guy lost to Morgan Charrier in his debut. Tough fight to have in your fucking debut, though. But that was 2 years and 6 months ago. Tommy McMillan, coming off of his Contender Series win. It being a decision, it's kind of tough for me to want to pick him. But, he's fighting a small Italian fighter in comparison to him. I think he's going to club and sub him. I think he's going to drop him, submit him with something. So I have submission in the very first round, maybe second round submission. Moving on to the main... No, we've been on the main card. Yeah, we've got Rafael Estevam versus Ethan Ewing. I think this is a very tough fight for Ethan Ewing. You've got a guy coming up from flyweight who was pretty solid at flyweight. Yes, he's a decision guy, but, you know, he did get finishes outside of the UFC. So, like Muhammad Mukayev, Movsar Evloev. Malcolm Wellmaker is our biggest win from Ethan Ewing here. The more I really think about this fight, the more I kind of lean towards Estevam. I do like that Ewing is shorter with a longer reach. I'm going to pick Ewing by decision. I think he may be able to batter up Estevam here over the 3 rounds. He looked good against Malcolm Wellmaker, too. Could have just been the Wellmaker confidence and him taking the fight on short notice. Like, it could have. There's a lot of things that could have been at play there. I'm going to tentatively pick Ethan Ewing. I think this is a pretty decently hard card to pick if you're following the heart. I'm going to pick I'm going to pick Ethan Ewing decision. I think that, you know, he has fought a singular better fighter than Rafael Estevam has in his entire UFC tenure. Anyways, we're going to move to Abdul Rahman Yakiayev versus Bringenson Ribeiro. Ribeiro literally only has 2 wins in the UFC, if I remember right. One against Caio Machado, and then we've got one against that Nurgajai. This guy is known as that Nurgajai. He said Nurgajai live on television, and he's never going to not be known as that Nurgajai. But, you know, you live and you learn, you say things, and you become the Nurgajai, and it's over for you. So you get knocked out or submitted by Bringenson Ribeiro. Nurgajai immediately falls to subs in his fights. And then you've got the losses to Magomed Gadzhilayev, Azamat Mirzakhanov, which that's an okay loss to have. But then you've got the Umar Sy one. Umar Sy, the victim of Ion Kutelaba. And then we've got Rafael Cicada getting submitted by this guy. This guy's a submission guy, if I remember right. Yeah, he, like, searches for submissions, but he got a singular knockout. Now everybody's picking him to win by knockout. I'm going to pick him. Holy shit, what's happening here? Let's close that. I'm going to pick Yakiayev by TKO, I guess. Like everybody else. Because Ribeiro does not have hands. Oh boy, we move into Verna Jandaroba versus Tabitha Ricci. Raul Rosas Jr. mixed with fucking the guy with the wonky eye. I can't even remember his name. Yeah. Bilal Muhammad? Is it him? Anyways, let's get right into this. Verna Jandaroba, huh? By decision. It's just what that is, sadly. Tabitha Ricci might win on pretty privilege, but that would be the only reason. Not a skilled fighter. At least somewhat skilled. Like, look at those eyes. Those are the eyes of a killer. Peeping right over those O's. Anyways, we've got Vernon Jandaroba by decision. Next, we move in to the main event of the evening. We have Renato Moicano versus Chris Duncan. So, Duncan, I don't know who I'm picking in this fight. This fight is a tough fight for me to call. It's either Sir Duncan by knockout, probably, TKO, or Moicano by sub is live. He's the underdog. I'm going to pick Renato Moicano to get the... Oh my god, Chris Duncan's trying to take over. I'm going to pick Renato Moicano to get the job done by round 2 submission. Chris Duncan has fallen victim to submissions in the past by, I believe, a lesser opponent. He was rear naked choked by Manuel Torres. If this fight gets to the ground with Renato Moicano on top, Moicano's ground game is better than Manuel Torres. And I do believe Renato Moicano can submit Chris Duncan. It's just, does he get the fight there? I think he can. He's only lost to Benil Dariush and Islam Makhachev in the last year. So I think this is a winnable fight for Moicano here. I'm going to take Renato Moicano by submission. This is a risky card for me on the picks. I feel like I could go 3-10 or 10-3 on this card. I just don't know, man. It's a tough fight, or a tough card to call. Let's go back over the picks, and then we'll save, and that's how you guys also will do this in order to make $100 for the numbered events, which we have a numbered event coming up next week. Not this weekend, next weekend. Anyways, we've got Moicano by sub, round 2. Vernon Jandaroba by decision. Yakyayev, KO, round 1. Ethan Ewing by decision. Tommy McMillan by sub. Ruchola by KO. Peterson by decision. Costa by KO. Venata by decision. Piera by decision. Bukoyev, our GOAT, by KO. And Dion Barbosa by decision. There should be one last fight. Dakota Hope by decision. These are our picks. That's all you have to do in order to jump in for the event. All you gotta do is join the group. I check every single day to allow people to join. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, share it. Help us feed Al Gore's rhythm. And I will see you guys for the next fight picks. Because I will not be streaming this weekend. Toodle pip. I will see you guys. Maybe for an every fights to make video after this one, if it's any good. But yeah, goodbye, fellas.